Hello there. Welcome to my show, COVID-19 update by Heerak. Today is July 13th, 2020, and I passed my clinical nurse leader national certification exam. I don't know, for some reason I wanted to play the British national anthem. I spent like 5 plus years in England at the University of Cambridge, researching Jewish studies, New Testament. My research specialty is called Hebrew Jewish and Early Christian Studies. So yeah, met a lot of royalty, nobility, and I actually, Archbishop of Canterbury. So yeah, but I passed CNO National Certification Exam, which is a big achievement. Obviously, it's a national certification exam, um, and it's a culmination of 2 years at Georgetown University, uh, intensive full-time program, master's program in this program. Georgetown University is a Catholic university, and it's closer to Ireland more than United Kingdom. But my best friend in at Cambridge University was Catholic, Martin Wood, and he was royalty. And he was actually very tied to Ireland because he's Catholic. Uh, but he goes way back, royal blood. And England used to be Catholic before it became Church of England, like Bloody Mary. So yeah, I had a lot of royal friends, noble friends in at Cambridge, both like in the royal line of Bloody Mary, Queen of Scots. I think Martin is from that family. Um, and you know, I had I had friends who were stewards. I had I just all kinds of royal families are there. A lot of royal bloodlines. England has a long history. So I guess I was just kind of thinking about Cambridge. You see, my behind me is Cambridge University. Yeah, I really like Cambridge. But yeah, I mean, today's a good day. 2 years intensive clinical nurse leader program at Georgetown. We started out with 34 students in the summer of 2018. And 2 years, like nonstop, basically 365 days a year, except for like a week or two break here and there. So it's like fall, spring, summer, very intense program. But obviously, they're trying to produce, serious leaders. And so I understand, why it's so intense, but it was really intense. We started out with 34 students in 2018 summer, and now this is summer 2020, and our program finishes, it completes in August 2020. And as you know, I start working on August 2020 as a nurse, clinical nurse leader. So I was the first person to take this certified nursing exam. It used to be that everybody took it at Georgetown University. I think that's how they did it last year, but this is like COVID-19 year. So I had to go to a testing center to take it. So we have a window of time where we can take the certified uh, nurse leader, national or clinical nurse leader certification exam. And today is the first day. And I think the last day is like August 6th or something like that. So I'm like, I'm going to get it out of the way. I'm going to take it the first day. So that's what I did. So I took the exam in Alexandria, Virginia today. This was the closest test center available to me. So I went there and took it. And it was like a 3-hour exam, 140 questions. It was so hard. Oh my gosh. I studied so hard for that. I've been studying like weeks for this because I want to, it's like $450, I want to take it, pass. But I went there and I saw the questions. It was like, whoa. It was hard. It was hard. And I actually have a poem written about it. I posted it uh, you know, on my Twitter account, Heerak for Congress, Heerak for Congress, number 4, on my Twitter account. And yeah, so if you go to July 13, 2020, 2020 tweets, you'll see my poem posted. I also posted official pass scorecard that the test center printed out for me. So basically, I took my test, and then you find out right away, which is kind of nice, I guess. Um, so, they printed out the official pass scorecard for me. And the guy's like, congratulations. I'm like, oh, yes, thank you. So, yeah, so you can see my official pass notice from, I guess the testing agency on behalf of Commission on Nursing Certification, CNC, that administers the clinical nurse leader certification exam, which is nationally certified. So I am basically certified in all 50 states, Puerto Rico, Guam, all the U.S. territories, all the U.S. military bases, all the U.S. embassies, because they're all like, they're USA, right, in foreign territory. So yeah, I did it. I had to do a cheer for me. Congratulations to me. Congratulations to me. I did it. I did it. I did it. I did it. Yeah, oh, it was hard, but I did it. So yeah, I did it. First person in my cohort to pass. Yes. So there are 24 who will be taking it. In the coming days, coming weeks. Hopefully all of them pass, but it's hard. So you better, do some cramming there. Yeah, I'm sure everybody will pass. But yeah, so I'm excited. I'm excited. Let's go. Yeah, so yeah, there are 411 people who died in 24 hours from COVID-19. The second peak started like a couple of weeks ago, so deaths are coming in like 2 or 3 weeks later. So, these are basically deaths from previous COVIDs, most of them, from the first peak, the tail end of the first peak. So, yeah, so the death is at 135,582. And as I said, in 2-3 weeks, you're going to see like thousands of deaths. And in terms of cases, it's going up like 60,000 per day. So yeah, like 3-4 weeks later, you're going to see like tremendous number of deaths. So today our cases are at 3,361,042 cases. Yeah, I mean, I'm in a nostalgic mood because I passed my exam. I miss all my friends, all my royalty friends, and all my nobility friends. Uh, in England, Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland. I told you, I like Busy Cole, who was at my church, St. Andrew's the Great. It didn't work out, but it might have worked out. But yeah, I should show you a picture of her sometime. She's pretty, she's like really tall, like 6 foot and like 120 pounds. Beautiful lady, you know. Yeah, yeah. I met her when she was a first year student at Cambridge University, and I was doing advanced doctoral level research there. Yeah, I met her at the history library. You know, I asked her for her phone number. She gave it to me, and then we started kind of seeing each other a little bit. Yeah, but yeah, she's royalty. Um, but yeah, anyway, yeah, I got to meet other women, you know, other noble women, royalty women. The girl that you see in front of you there, she's she's actually like a military person. She's like an officer in the British Army. She's an officer in the British Army. She's pretty, you know. So yeah, yeah, pretty redhead. I don't know if she's Irish or not, but she's English. But I don't know if she has like, you know, we didn't really talk about her religion. So she may be Catholic. She may be. I don't think she's Catholic. I think she's Church of England. But we didn't really talk about her religion. Talk about other things. So, but yeah, but yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was just a kind of short thing, but yeah, she's really pretty. I thought, you know, she yeah, she was a military officer in the British Royal Army. Um, yeah, but anyway, yeah, she I met her actually that day at Trinity Hall. You know, there was a formal hall at Trinity Hall, and so I went there with my friends from Jesus College, Cambridge. You know, I'm part of Jesus College, and then I met her, and so we started talking, and you know, I liked her. I guess she liked me too. It was fun, you know, fun night. Yeah. Anyway, memories. Yeah. Anyway, top five from Asia. So India is 878,254, and total deaths so far is at 23,174, 3%. Pakistan is number two. Second most COVID cases, 251,625. Deaths are at 5,266, 2%. Number three is Bangladesh, 186,894. Deaths are at 2,391. Doesn't she look happy? You know, I don't know, she looked really happy. Like, I remember her being really happy, you know? You know, I saw her and she didn't look too happy. And then I started talking and, you know, then she started smiling and she looked really happy, you know? Yeah. So, you know, it's kind of surprising, you know, sometimes you meet someone and you know, you hit it off and yeah, it's like almost like you feel like you've known her like long time, you know? Um, yeah, but I just met her that night. I mean that yeah, at the dinner, and then we just yeah hit it off. You know, it's kind of weird, you know. But anywho, yeah. Number four, China is number four, 85,117. The deaths are at 4,641. And Indonesia is number five, 76,981, and deaths are at 3,656. So they're between like 1% to 5%, at least among the top five. So India has the most number of deaths, but obviously it's much smaller than like Mexico, which is number two in Latin America, much smaller than like European countries. But African countries and Middle Eastern countries, they're much smaller than Asia, India, certainly. So, well, anyhow, yeah, she's pretty, right? Yeah. Um, yeah, I thought I'll share some photos with you from 500th anniversary of Lady Margaret, professor of divinity at Cambridge University. Um, yeah, I mean, I was technically, officially at the Faculty of Divinity. Faculty is like a department of divinity at Cambridge University, and it's the oldest university in United Kingdom, Cambridge University. So they have this one professorship which is 500 years old, much older than United States of America. you know, which is kind of funny. So it was like a big shindig, 500 years anniversary. Lady Margaret professor, at Cambridge University. So obviously I was going to ask, you know, a pretty girl out. I mean, geez, it's like a special event. So I asked Rebecca, who was a junior from Claremont College, one of the Claremont colleges in California. It's from I guess she was like from a billionaire or millionaire family in America. Um, you know, and she's really pretty. I mean, you can't beat that. Like, beautiful, from a good school, from a good family, nice pedigree. Yeah, I mean, you know. Um, yes, I asked Rebecca out. She was a junior year abroad, so I guess she might not have been 21. I think she might have been 20. But the drinking age in England is 18. So, like, so she was able to have the wine and stuff like that. Because drinking age is an 18th. So I think she was like 20. So technically she couldn't drink if she were in America, but she was in England. So I asked her out. So, she said yes. She actually was staying 1 year at Jesus College, or one semester. I think they just have semester abroad, not a year abroad. So she was there for one semester. And I said hello. She was pretty, so I talked to her. I mean, if you're that pretty, I'm gonna say hello. You know, hey, don't judge me. I'm a heterosexual guy. I'm not married. So I'm hoping, maybe I'll find somebody that, I wonder if Busy was upset. No, I mean, I mean, it's not like we were exclusive or anything. I don't know if she probably, maybe that's why it didn't work out. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, maybe I should have just that's busy. I mean, I guess I did a lot of stuff wrong. I don't judge me. Don't judge me. I don't know how these things work. Um, I mean, like Busy and I, we were not exclusive. We didn't say we were exclusive or anything like that. We just kind of like went out for dinner and lunch or whatever. And come to think about it, maybe that's why it didn't work out. Because I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I was kind of explaining to Martin Wood, my best friend from Cambridge University, who's royalty, and I actually was interested in like 2 or 3 English royalty at the same time. So there was Busy Cole, there was Charlotte Hudson, and there was what's the other girl's name? Her last name is Judd. What's her first name? Oh shoot. Oh wow. But anyway, I was kind of interested in like 3 different royalty. I don't know where they were in the royalty pecking order, but I know they're like English royalty. And I'm not sure exactly which royal family all of them belong to. I think 1 or 2 of them, maybe all 3 belong to like the Windsors. I don't know, maybe. I don't know. I mean, I'm like an American, Korean American, and I like royalty. I don't really care like the specific details per se. I mean, royalty is royalty. I don't know. I think English people care, but I don't know the pecking orders in among the royalty. But I know like they were royalty somehow. And Martin would try to like steer me in the right direction, but yeah, I don't know. I guess I made a lot of mistakes. I'm not perfect. Don't judge me. But anyway, so I saw this beautiful American girl. She's I don't know. Maybe she is royalty. I don't know. Um, some Americans are like they're tied to royalty, like the Bushes. I think they're linked to royalty. Um, but I don't know. I didn't ask her if she had royal blood. I just saw her like as an American. She was like a junior at Claremont College. She was pretty, so for me, like that was the most important thing. That she was pretty. Because so this is an important event. It's like everybody who's like a famous theologian, uh, like in England was there, and they were gonna see me, and obviously I wanted, you know, a beautiful woman next to me, and you see me sitting with the Rebecca. Um, and I liked her. I wanted to get to know her too. But this was more of one of those like events where you kind of bring somebody beautiful. Those events. It's like a 500th year anniversary of Lady Margaret Professor. All the top theologians from United Kingdom, England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland were there. Some Europeans, some Americans flew in. Um, so I wasn't gonna go there with like someone who's not, you know, beautiful or that I'm in love with or something. Um, yeah. So I asked Rebecca. She said yes. So maybe I should have asked Busy. I don't know. In hindsight, I didn't even ask her. I feel bad. I do. I do. I mean, I feel bad now. Like now that I'm thinking about it, I didn't really think about it back then. Um, I'm not like this, like one of those conniving kind of guys. I just like, we had this event, and then I was like, at Jesus College, and I said hello to Rebecca. She's beautiful. So I'm like, oh, hey, you want to go to Lady Margaret Professor 500th anniversary dinner with me? And she said yes. So we went. It's like a high profile event. you know. I sat in front of Janet Saskis, who's a professor of theology at Cambridge University, who's a faculty member at Jesus College, Cambridge. So I got to know her pretty well when I was at Jesus. I guess that's like her husband next to her. She's American actually, and she became professor at Cambridge. I think her husband is English, some nobility guy or something, I think. But anyway, yeah. So you see, yeah, so Rebecca is sitting directly in front of Janet, Professor Saskis, and then I sat in front of her husband. Um, yeah, it was a nice dinner. Janet Saskis is like big shot, big name in theology, so in her field. So, yeah, and you see, I took photo between the two Lady Margaret professors, Graham Stanton and the professor who was the Lady Margaret professor of divinity before Graham Stanton. I forget her name. Both are like legends in New Testament studies. Like everybody who's anybody in New Testament knows them, obviously, including at Georgetown University. Georgetown University's New Testament professors, uh, obviously know them. I mean, they're like legends in New Testament studies. Graham Stanton and Morna Hooker. Morna Hooker was the Lady Margaret Professor of Divinity before Graham Stanton. And Lady Margaret Professor of Divinity is like a big thing around the world. It's like considered like the top or one of the top professorships in New Testament in the world. Everybody knows everybody who's anybody in New Testament studies knows Lady Margaret Professor of Divinity, even the Pope himself, respects Lady Margaret Professor. It's like a big event. Yeah, I'm glad I got a beautiful, beautiful girl to go with me, Rebecca. She's like young and beautiful, you know. She's 20 and from a nice American family, you know. She's very mature, you know. She's almost like a royalty the way she acts. Um, it was nice, you know. Um, yeah, and yeah. And then next to, and she got to take photo with Graham Stanton as well. She doesn't know who he is, obviously, but she's like a junior from Claremont McKenna College, and I think she was a history major, so she doesn't know anything about New Testament. But so she got to know what a Lady Margaret Professor of Divinity is. You know, you got to be kind of in the know. I bet a lot of Georgetown University New Testament scholars watching me right now are jealous. Actually, Georgetown University doesn't have many famous New Testament scholars. Catholic University actually is the one that has the better New Testament professors than Georgetown. For some reason, I don't know why that is, but I think someone explained it to me. I think PhDs in New Testament are given at Catholic University, not at Georgetown, I think. Somebody was explaining this to me, some Catholic priest. Because both are Catholic University, and the most famous New Testament professor from Washington, D.C., I think at least one of them is Joseph A. Fitzmyer. He was a scholar of New Testament and Dead Sea Scrolls. I read a lot of his stuff, maybe all of his stuff, or almost all. I mean, probably not all of it, but because I'm an expert of New Testament. So yeah, yeah. So, but anyway, yeah. I mean, like they all know Lady Margaret Professor. Anybody who's anybody in New Testament studies know Lady Margaret Professor of Divinity. Yeah, because Cambridge is, I think, it's like number one or one of the top universities for New Testament in the world. Yeah, I mean, 500 years of Lady Margaret Professor in Divinity. I mean, you can imagine, right? Yeah. Next to Graham Stanton, you see my friend Ferdia. She's Irish. She's Irish. She's Irish Catholic. No, maybe she's not Irish Catholic. Maybe she's English Catholic. But she's Catholic. She was one of my Catholic friends. At and she was doing her PhD in theology. She's pretty, I thought she was attractive. And next to her is a legendary professor of theology. He's Irish. He's from Ireland. I think he's from Ireland. He's Catholic. I know he's Catholic. And he's considered one of the greatest theologians, academic theologians in the world. What's his name? I can't remember. One of my Korean friends did a PhD with him. And he's now in Korea, a professor of theology in Korea. What's his name? I'm sure all the Georgetown University professors know him because he's like a legend in theology, and he's Irish Catholic. Yeah, I can't remember his name, but he's like a big shot theologian, global big shot theologian. I liked him, we said hello and everything. I'm more into Jewish studies, New Testament, Old Testament. I kind of hung around there. He's more of a theology proper, philosophical theology. I think that his specialty was philosophical theology. Yeah, he's a legend in the field. Yeah, so I'm sure like Georgetown theology professors watching this now they know him. Yeah, some of them maybe his buddies. Yeah, but yeah, I had such a great time at Cambridge. I used to go dancing every day. I mean, I'd work in the day, but after dinner, go dancing, for 2-3 hours every day. It was fun. They had like theme nights. You could dance like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So I generally went like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I could, you know. And then theme nights, they had like uh, top 40s, they had the disco, they had the hip hop, they had the rock music. They have the techno night. Yeah, it was fun. Did I tell you I was like the it guy at Cambridge University? They voted on a quintessential Cambridge student. I was the only non-undergraduate student to be voted in. Um, yeah, everyone was like between 18 and 22, and I was like the only one who was older than that. Yeah, not by much, but you know, I wasn't in the 18 to 22 range. I don't know how I got voted in. I think it's the girls that I dated. They like nominated me, and I got voted in. I didn't even know I was nominated. I didn't even know I was voted in, and then I was like, oh, I opened the Cambridge Student, the newspaper, and I was like right there, like quintessential Georgetown University student, like all these billionaire, royalty, nobility, white people, and there was like only me who was non-white, like non-white, non-undergraduate, non-European. I was like overweight, only overweight guy there. Everybody looked like models. I, it's because of the women I dated. The women I dated, they generally look like Rebecca. Rebecca's American, but did I date a lot of Americans? Let me guess. I mean, I find for some reason I have an international appeal. I don't know why. I mean, I don't know why women like me. I have to I have to tell you, I do not understand why women like me. I don't. I just don't understand it. Because I'm like overweight. I've never been like, like normal body weight, I think, ever in my life. It's because I like Kentucky Fried Chicken too much, Popeye chicken and, hamburger fries. Today was like a free Friday, so I picked up my free fries from McDonald's. It was good. I dipped it on my barbecue sauce. I was never like thin. I never had a six pack. Like six pack on your belly. There was always like a bulging round belly. You could always pinch an inch or a few inches. And so I don't know why women like me. I just don't understand. But they do. I do not understand. And these women who like me are like amazingly beautiful. Like they look like models, and they're like, often they're like billionaires, look like models, and they're like, geniuses. I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how is it that God blessed me this way, but yeah, I mean, it's every country I've been to, it's been like that. When I was in France, when I was in England, when I was in Israel, when I was in Germany, and different places in America. When I was at Brown, I went out with the most beautiful graduate student at Brown who was, she was the most beautiful. She was from Louisiana. She was like from a really wealthy family in Louisiana, like Southern Belle. And she went to St. John's University in Maryland. And her sister, she told me, goes to mass every day. I'm like, man, why can't you be like that? But yeah, her sister's like a professor somewhere. But yeah, she was the most beautiful woman at Brown University. And I saw her in one of these meetings. I'm like, man, she's beautiful. She knew who she looks like. This girl at Brown. She looks like, the Gone with the Wind, the movie Gone with the Women. Gone with the Wind. The main character in the Gone with the Wind, where Red says, frankly, dear, I don't give a, you know, that girl, she's really pretty. She kind of looks like that, but yeah, she was the most beautiful graduate student at Brown. Oh yeah, like by far. Like, and when she started going out with me, like people couldn't believe it. Like Randy, this guy who was doing his PhD at religion. This, I had a lot of Jewish friends. He was Jewish, um, and he's like, he really liked her, but she was hot. Um, it was like so jealous that I was, going out with her. Yeah, I don't even know why she said yes to me. Yeah, I mean, she's like the most beautiful woman at Brown. It's like she's white, uh, blue. I think she had blue eyes. Oh, I can't remember. It was a while ago. I think she had. Yeah, because generally, like, I like women with blue eyes. So yeah, I think she had blue eyes or green eyes or blue eyes. But I mean, I like blue better than green. Um, she had like a really nice fair white skin. Oh, yeah, she's like a Southern Belle. It's like the closest we'll come to American, like royalty in America. She was so pretty. She was so pretty. Yeah. But anyway, Rebecca's pretty too. I think she might have been like the prettiest American girl that, they have like junior year semester abroad. I think Georgetown students go to Oxford, right? Um, yeah, anyway, Claremont students come to Cambridge, and she was there for one semester. And so, yeah, obviously I met like several beautiful American women, juniors who were, I guess they were like 20, 19, 20 years old. She was the prettiest one. That's why I asked her out, obviously. Um, yeah. But anyhow, anywho, um, right. Oh, I miss Cambridge. I do. Yeah. Did I tell you when I was at Brown University, I went out with this Orthodox Jewish girl? No, she's not. No, not the Louisiana girl. She was Catholic. Like she was very, very Catholic. Her whole family was very Catholic. But I asked this pretty Jewish girl out. She did her bachelor's at Stanford University, and she was modern Orthodox. Like her family's modern Orthodox, but I think she like was well, was I don't know. We didn't really talk about religion that much, but she's pretty. So I asked her out. We kind of, you know, went out, and I don't know what she said yes to me either. I don't know. Like when I ask women out, they generally say yes. So yeah. But anyway, yeah. Anyway, yeah, yeah. I almost went out with this girl, Rita Barsoum, from Syria. She was a Syrian Orthodox. Oh, she was pretty. She was, she went to Providence College, which was in, was that East Providence? No, is it? Yeah, East Providence. No, this wasn't East Providence. It was like in Providence. Was it Providence College? It was a Dominican college, Catholic college. She is Syrian Orthodox, so she's Syrian, like she's from Syria. So she immigrated from Syria to. She didn't really immigrate. Like her family was a refugee from Syria because they're Christians, and they're persecuted by Muslims in Syria. So they came to America and they saw refugee status. And then Rita Barsoum's father started a little grocery store in Rhode Island. And um, she was part of like, one group of friends that I hung out with. Well, I had different groups of friends, and one group of friends that I hung out with was international students at Brown. So I had like these friends from Europe um, who I hung out with. So Sophie uh, Cojero, she's like Italian, but she was living in Paris. So she spoke French. We spoke French sometimes, and she's nice. She's pretty, but she was a little bit overweight. She was, she slightly Rubenesque, and I don't really, I'm not really into Rubenesque too much. So I mean, we stayed friends. Like she really liked me, but we just kind of, you know, hung out. We're friends, and then she started dating this Dominican guy, uh, and so we would like go to merengue, like in different Dominican clubs, like in Massachusetts, and the only thing they did is speak Spanish. I'm like, it was so really big. I'm like, I didn't know there were so many Dominicans in like Massachusetts. Sophie started dating this Dominican guy, so um, yeah, so we used to go and hang out in like Dominican like merengue bars, like clubs. But it was fun because you can dance to Dominican Dominican music, merengue music. Um, yeah, it was fun. But um, Rita, like became part of our group for some reason. I think she was like senior at Providence College. Or yeah, she was a senior, I think. And then she started hanging out with us, and then I kind of started getting close to her. She used to come over to my apartment, and we used to hang out. And then, but she's I kind of like like white women who have blue eyes, so we just kind of hung out and became kind of just became friends, kind of. And then she ended up marrying my friend Rita, Regis Mouse, who came over from France. He's Jewish. He's French Jewish, but he's like Christian. Like he's French Jewish who kind of converted to. No, he didn't convert to Christianity. Oh no, he might have converted after he married Rita, but or did his parents convert? I can't remember. But I know he was telling me he's Jewish. He's like Jewish background. So we used to hang out together, and then so he and Rita hooked up, and then they got married, and they're happy, happy couple in Rhode Island now, and they're a cute couple, it's kind of funny because like she's Arabic and he's Jewish, and then but both of them are like I think his father and mother might have converted to Catholicism in France, so technically he's French Catholic, and Rita is like Syrian Orthodox, but she went to like the Catholic school, Dominican school, Providence College. So they were married in an Orthodox church there, Syrian Orthodox church. And when I was at Cambridge at Brown University, I used to do some research with Susan Harvey. Susan Harvey is a professor of early Christianity at Brown University. And Susan Harvey, she's an expert in Syrian Orthodox Christianity. And so I read Greek texts with her on Cappadocians. Got an A, obviously, on the doctoral seminar on the Cappadocians. And the whole class was basically reading Greek texts. There was like 3 students there. And I made her so nervous because, I would always over prepare, for her seminar. So I would spend like 20 hours on this one text that we're going to read for 3 hours in our doctoral seminar. And I would prepare all the grammar, syntax, I mean, theologically, what the word in Greek implies and what the counterpart is in Latin. I prepared so hard for that. Professor Harvey, I think she hated me. She gave me an A because I was like best one in the best best student in the seminar, doctoral seminar. But because I over prepared all the time. So yeah, but she was so nervous because like I could be inquisitive and I over prepare and I'm like diving into the text and like I think I stressed her out. I should laugh, but I mean, there was like 3 or 4 of us, right, in the whole doctoral seminar and her. And I'm always like, please give me a passage to read in Greek. Please, because I love to read, translate, go in depth, into like the terminology, syntax, grammar, vocabulary, a terminology. And then I started asking her these very complicated questions that I prepared. Because, I used to prepare like 20 hours for a 3-hour seminar. I think most people just like prepare like 7 hours. So they're like, I mean, they weren't that good, but I was like over prepared, right? And so like I'm basically writing a commentary in the room, right? So like Professor Susan at Harvard is like her hands were shaking in the seminar, like literally, I'm not kidding you. Like she put her hand down on the table and it started shaking. Yeah, I think she was like I bet those 3 hours were hell for her because I over prepared. Um, I shouldn't laugh. I wasn't thinking about that. At that time, I was just thinking like I'm preparing. I just want to do well. I want to know everything. And I thought she would have been happy that I over prepared. But now looking back, I remember like her hand shaking and like she was like a nervous wreck throughout 3 hours. And I was like, what's wrong with her? you know, yeah, but I mean, eventually I caught on that she was just stressed out because I over prepared, which forced her to prepare as well. But I have a habit of doing that wherever I go. Like my professors that who teach me, they generally steal my ideas and publish it, and like they win prizes. Like like I had professors that like throughout my life who stole my ideas and published them and like won like big awards. You know, yeah. But when I had a seminar on Hebrew poetry with Professor James Kugel at Harvard. He's a professor of Hebrew poetry. He's one of the greatest legends in the field. There were like 10 Harvard PhD students and me, and and I would over prepare. like I would like, and it was Hebrew obviously. So we read Hebrew texts, we translated, we discuss Hebrew philology, syntax, and I prepare like I did extra preparation with like North Northwest Semitic linguistic theories and Hebrew philology, and I brought in all these things, and those Harvard PhD students were like looking at like me and like, oh, I was whooping their butt left and right. I was like running circles around them. Yeah, I was so brilliant in that seminar. That's why Professor James Kugel, I'm sure he remembers me because I was like #1 student in his seminar, his doctoral seminar in Hebrew philology at Harvard. And all these Harvard PhD students could not keep up. I mean, they're like miles behind. I'm like, hey, dudes, just come over a little bit. Yeah, work a little bit harder. What's the deal? This is a doctoral seminar. But yeah, I am legend. What can I say? Wherever I go, I'm #1. That's been the story of my life. When I was at UCLA in my doctoral seminar on canon law with Robert Benson, who was one of the 3 top canon law experts in America at that time. Robert Benson of UCLA, Edward Peters of University of Pennsylvania, and Professor Somerville of Columbia University. And I was in his Robert Benson's doctoral seminar, and what we did is we read Latin canon law that didn't even have a translation. Like we read Latin decretals in Latin, and some of them weren't even like, we were reading like text without translation. Uh, And we were reading sometimes different manuscripts. So I read Pseudo-Isidorian decretals from 8th century, upon which uh, Gratian's decretum from 1075 was based, and there were these questions about, uh, you know, authenticity of the Pseudo-Isidorian decretals from the 18th century in Spain. And then we used commentaries like Huguccio, and I'm like whooping butts of all of Dr. Benson's PhD students in canon law. Yeah, I mean, my expertise is like, Hebrew, like Hebrew Jewish and early Christian studies, but my dissertation wasn't on like canon law. I just took Dr. Robert Benson's PhD seminar on canon law because I wanted to be the best in the world, best historian in the world in Western civilization. So I just wanted to make sure I could whoop the butts of those PhD students in canon law and medieval law. So that's why I took. I wanted to make sure I could whip their butt in their field. That's what I do. I am the Leonardo da Vinci of 21st century, and I need to make sure that I am the Leonardo da Vinci. So I take these doctoral seminars that's not even in my major field, just to see I could whoop the butts of people who are specializing in that field as a primary field. Yeah, I mean, I do that, and I did. Yeah, when I was a kid at UCLA, none of the people in my field took the seminar. It was too hard. The whole text was in Latin. Everything was in Latin. 3 years of canon law text in Latin. Yeah, I mean, you think that's easy? Yeah, you try it. And I wanted to make sure, I could whoop people's butt in Latin philology. So I took Professor Lufstedt's medieval Latin composition class, or Latin composition and medieval Latin classes in the classics department. Lufstedt is from Sweden. And so it wasn't even in the history department, it was in the classics department. And I just go over there to classics department, take these, PhD seminars with Professor Lufstedt. And he's like a legend in Latin, medieval Latin. Lufstedt's classes, just to whoop the butts of those classics Latin PhD students. Yeah, it was fun. That's why I know I'm the Leonardo da Vinci of of 21st century. Because everywhere I go, I whoop the butts of the specialists. Because at the PhD level, at that level, they're specialists. Um, yeah, yeah. That's why I know. I've been at the best places. I've whooped the butt of everybody. Literally, I mean, like Professor James Kugel's class, those PhD students in Hebrew poetry, I was whooping their butts. Yeah, at Harvard. At Harvard. When I was at UCLA, Professor Lufstedt's students, I was whooping their butts. When I was at Professor Robert Benson's class, I was whooping the butts of his PhD students. When I was at Hebrew University of Jerusalem, I just intentionally went in and took the doctoral seminars of all the top-notch professors there, and the whole class was conducted in modern Hebrew. And I wanted to whoop the butts of those experts, so I took modern Hebrew classes from Aleph to Vav. Vav is the highest level, and then I went to those PhD seminars for Israeli students just so that I could, verify that I'm the Leonardo da Vinci of 21st century. So, yeah, I went to those seminars. Like everything was in modern Hebrew. It took a little time to get used to, to kind of, they're Israelis. They're born in Israel. They did their, bachelor's, master's, and they were doing their PhDs in Hebrew, in Jewish studies, in Hebrew. And then, yeah, went over there, whooped their butts. Yeah, whooped their butts. These Israeli top-notch Israeli PhD students in Jewish studies. Yeah, I just went and whooped their butts left and right. Yeah, and this is why I know I'm the Leonardo da Vinci of my century, of of 21st century. You know, because I made sure I could whoop everybody's butts intellectually. Yeah, wherever I go. Yeah, have to be number one. You know, and you know, in my field of Hebrew studies, you know, or history. You know, actually, it's not Hebrew studies necessarily. Lush studies Latin, and Robert Benson is you know canon law. Um, yeah, but yeah. But anywho, you know, like at Brown University, you know, Susan Harvey, she probably still has nightmares about me because I over prepare for a class every single one. Read through the Cappadocian Fathers and in Greek. Ask these tough questions. You know, like her voice used to shake. You know. Yeah, but and then I took this class at Harvard with PhD students in canon Jewish law. We used to read Talmud, Talmud Talmud Bavli, Talmud Yerushalmi, and we would debate that thing out. And Professor Isaiah Gaffney from Hebrew University came over as a visiting professor at Harvard. And then, you know, like I go into this Jewish law class, you know, where we're reading Talmud in Hebrew or in Aramaic. And like there's like 15 students, they're all Jewish. Like 90% of them are Orthodox. Like they went to yeshiva and they grew up in Orthodox homes. They've studied the Talmud all their life. And I'm like, I gotta be able to whoop their butts too, you know. If I'm gonna be the top number one or top expert in Jewish studies in the world, I have to be able to whoop these guys' butts. If I can't whoop the butts of these guys, I mean, how can I claim to be like top notch Hebrew studies expert? You know, my rationale. I needed to see that I could whoop their butts. So I went in there, took this doctoral seminar on purpose on Jewish law, on Talmud. You know, whoop their butts. Ask Professor Isaiah Gaffney. Yeah, yeah. This one student, she was a, she was a, she, I think she came from an Orthodox family, but she's not Orthodox anymore. Um, and she went to Harvard undergraduate, like summa cum laude. Went to Harvard Law, summa cum laude, and she was working for ACLU, I think at the time, or she was like part time working for ACLU or whatever, but she was doing her PhD in Jewish law. And yeah, we had some fun talk, fun conversation. I had a crush on Bernard Septimus' daughter. You know, Bernard Septimus is like a legend in Jewish studies, and his daughter Elisheva Septimus was a PhD student in Jewish studies at Harvard, and she was in the seminar, and I was like, oh man, she's so cute, you know, but she's Orthodox, like she's an Orthodox Jew, but when she saw me like whooping the butts of everybody, I think she kind of liked me, so I think I could have actually asked her out. But you know, Bernard Septimus is like teaching. Was he teaching there? Yeah, I think she was. He still was a professor at Harvard, and I'm like, I probably should be careful. You know, she's like, although I mean, you know, I don't think he would have minded if I converted to Judaism. Obviously, I'm not going to do that. But obviously, if I dated Elisha, but Septimus, she would have to become Christian to marry me. But I don't think he would have minded if I dated her because I'm such a legend in Jewish studies. A lot of Jewish professors wanted me to marry their daughter. Um, did I tell you about the time Avi Hurwitz at Hebrew University of Jerusalem? Like I worked on him one-to-one on research into Hebrew philology, Hebrew linguistics. Um, so we use like the science, Badilos, history of Hebrew language. We use that, but not so much because Avi Hurwitz was more into Hebrew tradition. So we use mostly Chaim Rabin. And those of you who are into Hebrew philology, Hebrew linguistics, know Chaim Rabin. Chaim Rabin is uh, Chaim Rabin, was a professor at Hebrew University, expert in Hebrew philology, and So I used uh, his text and Ben David. Ben David, he basically wrote in modern Hebrew. Was Israeli. So I read his scholarly works in modern Hebrew on Hebrew philology. Used that. Um, there was a leading expert, Ben Gurion University, on Hebrew philology, but his focus was mostly on Qumran Hebrew. So I used his books. He's also Israeli, and he wrote in English and Hebrew, modern Hebrew, academic books. And obviously, I used some of the works, um, you know. But I mean, I've done a lot of serious stuff, serious advanced stuff in Hebrew philology and Hebrew linguistics. Um, yeah, but Avi Hurwitz was so impressed with me. Like one time I went in, his daughter was sitting in the room, and she let me in. And I go in and said, "Where's Professor Gaff, Professor Hurwitz, Avi Hurwitz?" And she's like, "Oh, my father, he told me like, he'll be late." So she and I were sitting there just kind of talking away for an hour. You know, I think he tried to set us up. Yeah, because I'm brilliant. So a lot of Jewish professors try to set me up with their daughters. Um, yeah, I think like she was a junior at Hebrew University of Jerusalem. She was a history major, and she actually knew Serge Gorman. I found out later, but she was like a junior. She was like 20, 22, 21, because she served 2 years in the military from 18 to 20. So I think she was like 22 actually. Um, yeah, but anyway, she was beautiful, blonde, blue eyed. Because Professor Hurwitz is an Ashkenazi Jew. So yeah, she was blonde hair, blue eyed, very beautiful. Um, yeah, but anyhow, yeah, I mean, jeez, I'm a legend in Jewish studies. I mean, like wherever I go, I make sure I'm the best. You know, Israel, Germany. Did I tell you about the time I was in Heidelberg, University of Heidelberg? They have an institute for Jewish studies there, which is number one in Germany. And then obviously uh, Jared Tyson is there. I stayed with him and his wife for a while until I found the apartment. Um, yeah, I did some research with them, but yeah, yeah, I've been like everywhere. I've worked hard to be like number one. Um, yeah, I mean it's not easy being one of the world's best experts in Jewish studies. You gotta work at it. You gotta work hard at it. I did. I still do. Yeah. So yeah. So that's why I get to sit in front of Janice Askis and Hamnab with Graham Stanton. And when I was there, the Archbishop of Canterbury, we used to chat about New Testament studies. And yeah, I mean, I'm a part of a British New Testament Society, so I try to go every year. Sometimes Archbishop of Canterbury shows up, sometimes not, but he's a busy man. And we have a new one now, but uh, yeah, yeah. I know what I'm talking about when I talk about New Testament. I know what I'm talking about when I talk about Jewish studies. I am legend in Jewish studies. Yeah, I'm not just talking about America. I'm talking about America, uh, England, Germany, Israel. I'm legend in all these places. Yeah. Why do you think I get invited to all these events? To people want to hear my research. Why do you think they want to hear my research? you know, I mean, you think anybody gets invited? You know how hard it is to get invited to give your research to some of the world's greatest experts in New Testament and Jewish studies? You think you just get invited for no reason? you know, my gosh, like not too many people from Georgetown University gets invited. I'm like, I wouldn't be surprised if I'm like better than anybody at Georgetown in Jewish studies. Yeah, I mean, Yeah, I mean, the director of Jewish studies at Georgetown learned from, he got his PhD from NYU, taught by people that I know, like Lawrence Schiffman, Eliot Wolfson, So he's like, he studied with them. I mean, I consider myself an equal with Lawrence Schiffman. So yeah, so you know what that means. But anyhow, yeah, Lawrence Schiffman knows me. Just ask him. Heerak. Yeah, everybody knows Heerak. Lawrence Schiffman of NYU, the legend at NYU. He knows me. Yeah, I mean, you know, Peter Schaefer at Princeton and Jerusalem. He was a professor at um, Freie Universität zu Berlin, #1 expert in Jerusalem Talmud in Germany, was recruited by Princeton University. He knows me. Martha Himmelfarb, Princeton University religion department chair. She knows me. Oh yeah, I mean, I'm really well known. I'm of the top tier, the alpha experts of Jewish studies know me. Yeah, so yeah, I generally don't deal with beta and gamma, but yeah. Anyhow, all right, so this is like more like a nostalgia program because I feel like, it's, when you have such a big accomplishment, you kind of think about the past. Think about the good old days that I used to hobnob with Professor Hurwitz, discuss minute details of ancient Hebrew inscriptions, just analyze it to death. Those were the good times. Yeah. But yeah, I could. Yeah, I mean, yeah. So I mean, I'm planning to hold 3 professorships, as I said. Professor of nursing at the School of Nursing at University of Pennsylvania. Professor of Jewish Studies at the Center for Jewish Studies at University of Pennsylvania. And professor of, actually, maybe more, well, history, I mean, it's close enough, professor of religion, close enough to Jewish Studies. And then a professor of education in the Graduate School of Education at University of Pennsylvania. So I hold tri-faculty positions. College of Arts and Sciences, School of Nursing, Graduate School of Education. Yeah. Yeah, that's in like a few years after after I do stuff here. Yeah, but everybody just hopes that I'll go to their university and teach. And there are people at Cambridge University who's still hoping I'll come back and teach there. Jeez. I gotta get married first. Maybe I should go to Cambridge. Maybe I could marry the next generation of royals who will be Cambridge, Because, my marriageable age is like 18 to 26. So it has to be the new generation. Yeah, the older generation, they're too old, but, So maybe I should go to Cambridge. Marry the new generation of royals who come to Cambridge. Royalty. If you date like different women, I tell you, there's nothing like the royalty. It's nothing like the royalty, But anyway, yeah. So, I've never been married and I'm not married. I'm hoping to get married to a good Christian woman. Obviously, she has to be a Christian. Preferably, she's a royal, if possible, or a noble. That's a definite plus. She has to be thin, obviously, and she has to be beautiful. And, yeah. Obviously, everything gets thrown out the window if you fall in love, but, but anyhow, anywho, yeah. Harry's like staring at me. I don't know what that means. Why is he staring at me? He has that look, and he's not telling me what he's thinking. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. But I just want to say before I say goodbye, I do not believe in the liberal media. I do not. I do not believe in the liberal media. Yeah, I thought I'd make that point. It's an important point to make. Anyhow, yeah. So, well, thanks for stopping by. I will bring you more important stuff tomorrow on COVID-19, but I figure you should get to know me, you know? I mean, you hear me give you all this advice and information and knowledge and wisdom. But you know, I'm an American at heart. I want to share, you know, part of my life with you. So this is kind of like that episode. You get to know a little bit about me. Obviously, there's a lot about me you still don't know. I'm a man of mystery. What can I say? Will take you like 1,000 years to learn everything about me. Yeah, that's you know. I mean, you know, I am the Leonardo da Vinci of 21st century. You know, even on the dance floor, these 18-year-olds cannot keep up with me. You know, when I was at Cambridge, you know, going dancing every day, every night, 2, 3 hours of dancing. These you know, 18, 19, 20-year-olds cannot keep up with me. You know, I was like, geez. Yeah, in a sense, practically speaking, I have to marry somebody between 18 to 20, 24 or 25. Because if I marry anybody older, I don't think they could keep up with me. I mean, honestly, because women who are like 18, 20, 21 can keep up with me. And they're like at the height of their metabolism. You know, they can't keep up with me. So, I mean, for a practical, you know, from a practical vantage point, I need somebody who can keep up with me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. There's so much to do. I have a U.S. Congress to win. I'm running for U.S. Congress, you know, in Virginia's 8th District, Arlington, Alexandria, Falls Church, and Fairfax County. And that's like November 3rd, 2020. You know, I'm running for that. I'm trying to solve the crisis in urban education in America. Uh, you know, um, you know, because for like decades, the problem of urban education, especially Black education in public schools, in inner city public schools, have eluded experts after experts for like past 40 years. I'm trying to solve that problem, you know? Um, yeah, I'm trying to solve the problem of, I'm trying to, you know, to find a way to cure through nursing, for oncology nursing. So that's one of the things that I want to do. I like to win Nobel Prize in medicine through that. Um, so you know, I'm taking steps towards that. You know, I'm planning to write my doctoral dissertation on oncology and cardiology. Uh, yeah, so you know, I'm talking with the right people, like the expert at Georgetown, Jane Ford Dixon, and yeah, so you know, I'm kind of, you know, kind of linking with the Colon Cancer Institute. What's the name of the institute? At Lombardi Center. I've kind of made some contacts with oncology experts at Lombardi Center. Some of the, you know, nationally renowned experts. Um, yes, I mean, that's one of the things I want to do. You know, I mean, there's like so much to do, you know. When you're the Leonardo da Vinci of 21st century, there's just too much to do. There's a lot to do because there's so many problems in the world you have to solve. Some of the problems won't get solved if the right person doesn't solve it, you know. Harry's looking at me. I still don't understand what that look means. What are you thinking, Harry? Yeah. But anyway, yeah. So thanks for stopping by. And so yeah. So you know, I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. I'll bring you some insights, important insights into COVID-19 and stuff like that tomorrow. So don't forget to tune in, and maybe I'll surprise you with one of these memory lane down the memory lane episodes, which I'm sure you love. So yeah. So look forward to seeing you tomorrow. I hope you will be well and that your family will be well too. Bye.